This is a very powerful trend. First off, read this disclaimer carefully. This is one of the zeitgeists. It is called body modification. And you can see here by the distance from the 52-week low that we do have quite significant outperformance vis-a-vis the S&P 500, which is the main index. We do see that the distance from the 52-week high is significant. But then again, as long as you make the trend your friend, then you will benefit from the trend. Okay, the company that we will look at here is called STRATA Skin Sciences. So I guess their business is quite self-explanatory. Let's just get a quick overlook of their website. So if we go to the About page, so we believe in better, not only for its promise, but for its challenge. Backed by decades of experience and an ever-growing portfolio of proven, best-in-class skin science technology, our singular purpose is to pursue better understanding, better approaches, better solutions, a better way to serve professionals in dermatology, plastics, and aesthetics, and change the lives of their patients. So basically, in body modification, it's a very strong trend, and it is also, quite futuristic. There's tremendous applications on the horizon. So the entire body modification business is going from being primarily aesthetic to becoming something much more transhumanist. In the classical sense, better sensory perceptions, stronger skin, basically all kinds of enhancements. Okay, first, let's look at the seasonality. So SSKN is the ticker. This is the percentage of months in which it closed higher than it opened between 2005 and 2020. So you can see that the average gain for August is 2%. September and especially October, you can see that's a relatively strong month. Let's look at it against the S&P 500. And then let's get multiple years. Here again, October is one of the stronger months, but we do not have any very solid seasonality because 53% literally being the strongest percentage here. It's not that strong. 33%. So June is clearly a weak month. But I prefer when it comes to seasonalities to see like a high percentage, like 70% plus or below 30%. For a more bearish, phenomena. Okay. Let's here look at the long-term charts. You can see here that STRATA Skin Sciences, it's been in trouble. So here you can see, the traders pretty much trying to figure out what is going on. Then we have extreme bullishness. Here we saw 1,184%. After that, there's been a major crash. There's been some stock splits, but basically, the investors have not really been feeling the love for this company. The reason why STRATA is becoming interesting is because for multiple years now we have been in this trend channel. So here is the bottom of the consolidation range, here is the top. So we've been jockeying a bit back and forth. There seems at least to be a floor in place, around here. And when there is an uptrend for STRATA, it's quite significant. If you take this rally here, all of a sudden you have 211%. This recent rally here is 127%. So even though if you look at the chart like this, it looks absolutely hopeless. But these kinds of charts, it can be extremely tradable. You can see those massive gains pretty fast. The reason why STRATA is also becoming very interesting now is due to these moving averages. You do have the red 200-week moving average here, and also the 100-week moving average. They are pointing negative. We have recently broken out above the 50-week moving average, and you can see here quite clearly. The 200-week is a clear resistance level. Test, fail, test, fail. We will soon be able to test it again. If we were to get above it, that would be a very, and sustain ourselves above it, and you can see that that's been a challenge for sure. That would be a very strong sign here. So we do have an interesting setup. We are forming a base, and there are some clear resistance levels that could be tackled, potentially. RSI is corroborating the rally. The accumulation distribution line is unfortunately not. And there's basically no correlation with the S&P 500, which is, beneficial. Okay, here are the daily data points. Here the key moving average is the 200-day moving average in red, resistance, resistance. We have been able to get above it, and the key question here is, of course, to stay above it. But yeah, there is something interesting happening here with STRATA Skin Sciences. Okay. Now let's look at some other metrics. You can see that there are no options available. That is no shocker because there's very limited liquidity. It is, however, shortable, but shorting stocks like this is definitively high risk. If you are going to short something like this, you definitively want to be on a trading platform where you have very good pre- and after-market access. There is unfortunately no average target price here among the analysts. We do have, some performance here. It is in the red year to date. So here are the few analysts that we do have. Okay. The stock is currently trading at $1.76. You do have some analysts here who are targeting a $7 price. Oppenheimer and Northland Capital. That's many hundreds of % above the current level. So that's a very interesting price target. Rodman and Renzo, you see that their most recent is actually increasing the price target from $1.50 to $12. So basically, the analyst price targets are very far above the current level, which is beneficial for the bulls. If we go to Saks.com, they do have a number 3 hold C value score, which is pretty good. I mean, for this kind of a company, it actually is good. A growth, that's obviously good, and C momentum, a VGM of B. This is a very small company. Market cap is $59 million US, so really small, no dividend. And here you can see, the industry rank, medical info systems, but I do categorize this as much more specifically body modification. Okay. Hence, to sum up here my take on STRATA Skin Sciences. The body modification trend is a trend that is powerful and is undergoing development. It's been focused on, of course, aesthetic treatments for quite some time, and that's the main business for STRATA Skin Sciences. But as technology develops, it will go from being purely aesthetic to also being body enhancement. And that's a very interesting thing that's much further down the road. But basically there's multiple forces that are bullish for this industry. Or specifically this theme. Looking at the charts here, we are seeing that the base has been formed. Even though we did make some deeper lows back here, we are at least back into a range where we have been before, so it potentially is more or less a solid floor. We do have some clear resistance level that we would want to get above. Of course, the most obvious bullish sign here for STRATA would be to get above the 200-week moving average, at least more than a couple weeks, and preferably to simultaneously see the accumulation distribution line improving. Okay. Then again, we did see some interesting facts here about the price targets, which are far above the current level, and Saks.com. So when you kind of combine all the data, you could make it's easier, I think, at these levels to make a bullish case for STRATA Skin Sciences than a bearish case. Whatever you do, of course, you want to let the trend be your friend, and may the trend be with you.